Well, as we say, last year the Kennedy Awards raised more than $100,000 for the Charlie Perkins Trust to help young Aboriginal students and young people realise their dreams of study at some of the world's best universities. And this year our great honour is to be supporting and highlighting the tremendous work of the Aboriginal Medical Service. So would you please welcome the AMS Chair, Sol Belair, who is joined by the Health Minister, Gillian Skinner, to present the John NEWFONG Award for the most outstanding coverage of Indigenous affairs, sponsored by Coles. Make them welcome.
Thank you very much, Alan. Can I say what a privilege it is to be here tonight with you, Sol, and for Jenny. As the Health Minister, I'm very proud to be able to support the Aboriginal Medical Service and also to have, through this organisation, we'll be providing, the New South Wales Government will be providing $10,000 for Red Kite. Thank you. I think they do a wonderful service, and I'm very happy, Jenny, to support the organisation, and I look forward to coming out and visiting you in the near future. Can I say, besides being very honoured to be the New South Wales Health Minister, I'm thrilled to be here because I'm also proud that I started my working life as a journalist. Many people don't know that I actually spent nearly 20 years working as a journalist. I did my cadetship on the Melbourne Herald, sorry people coming from Sydney, but I did work in Sydney for a time, and in fact I was the first woman journalist in the Victorian Press Gallery. That was, I suppose, my entree to politics. So I'm very thrilled to be here at these awards. I know that Les Kennedy was held in very, very high regard, and the money that's being raised tonight is going to some fantastic organisations. So now on with the announcement of the John NEWFONG Award for Outstanding Indigenous Affairs Reporting, sponsored by Coles. The nominees are the Global Mail, SBS Insight, and Ron Sutton, SBS Radio. And the winner is the Global Mail.
In a sensitive and respectful exposé, the Global Mail revealed the wanton destruction and disregard of ancient, culturally vital Aboriginal rock art in Arnhem Land and New South Wales. The team's online stories and video have effected real change, especially in New South Wales, where a significant clean-up is underway at Emu Cave in the Blue Mountains.
I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I'd like to acknowledge Sol Belair, Mrs. Kennedy. I'm so glad you're here tonight. I worked with Les in two incarnations, one at the Australian when he was a copy boy and one at the Sydney Morning Herald. And I worked with him on the TJ Hickey story, and he was an incredibly forensic guy. I felt like I was out there with a cop. It was really exciting. And I find myself, a year after leaving the Herald, working with people at the Global Mail, which is an exciting new startup. And I want to thank the staff and the editors. Some of the staff are here with me now. There's a commitment to Indigenous affairs, investigative reporting, and it's a representative of a startup that's here tonight. And Graham Wood, the philanthropist, has allowed this to happen. So it's a new model. So thanks to the organisers as well, and I'm very pleased that a charity is being supported so well. Stop. Right. Okay.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here and doing that, but for the Aboriginal Medical Service as well, because every charity's out there fighting against each other for the funds that are available. So just because we hear all this money going to Aboriginal affairs doesn't mean it's coming down to Aboriginal affairs, and every dollar that we get there is welcome and will be used for diabetes, heart disease and everything else. John NEWFONG, that the award's named after, he was the first Aboriginal journalist to get into mainstream journalism. A very, very good man from Stradbroke Island, and he worked for the Aboriginal Medical Service there, and You know, he just went on and done work for the Australian, work for the Telegraph and all that. But and I'm going to keep with you, Ellen, with this racing thing. And John was down the Journalist Club one night and he told us this story about he met this white journalist that said, you know, John, I might be Aboriginal too. And John said, well, why? He said, I've got skinny ankles and flared nostrils. And John said, well, you know, you also might be related to Farlap. so, you know. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let me say that, you know, for the last 40 years, we've had a CEO there, and we hear about women up in the corporate stuff and all that, but our CEO has been there for 40 years at the Aboriginal Medical Service in Redford. Her name's Naomi Mayers, and she was one of the original Sapphires. Ladies and gentlemen, she's sitting over there with us now. So thank you, and, you know, thank the organisers as well. This is fantastic. Thanks.
Tonight we're joined by some very special people. I guess everyone in this room is pretty special in their own way, and that's the reason we're here. But among the special people here tonight are the family of a good mate of ours, Brian Foot Gettens. I'd like to welcome Rose, Tom, Jim and Alex to our function tonight. You're among friends. I've been asked to be brief, and brief I shall be. Foot lost his battle to cancer in June this year. He flew for Channel 9 for some 20 odd years, I think it's about 23 years. Who can forget his passion for flying, skimming the trees and just skipping across the waves as he flew us up from the Wollongong coast. He'll be remembered by all as a man who has no nonsense, but he'll also be remembered as a loyal friend. And one of his loyal friends is here with us tonight, Benny Hansen. I'm sure he'd like to share some words as well.
Thanks, Simon. Yes, I would. All I wanted to really say is that there's one word that speaks about footy, and that's exhilarating. He was an amazing man that I spent a lot of years in the chopper with him as a news cameraman, and he was amazing in the fact that you would just fly so low and you felt like your feet were in the water, and he made you feel special. And then you'd fly over. I was in the snow once and your legs are getting hit by the oh, I'm back on. But it really was. He is just a real gentleman and a love that, you know, you can't only experience unless you got to know him. So I love footy. And anyway, the nominees are Gary TICEHURST Award for Outstanding News Camera, Kevin Hudson, Adam Wilson and Catherine Wood. And Christopher Newport for Channel 10.
Wait.
Paul Walker, 7... No, hang on, we're waiting. Paul Walker, 7 News. Sorry, I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it. Thank you very much. And the winner is... Therese TICEHURST.
Yes, I'm the winner. And the winner is Paul Walker.
Reporter Sean Berry described it as a drive through the gates of hell.
A fast-moving inferno that could kill an unprotected person.
A supervised journey into the heart of a bushfire. Running the gauntlet of widowmakers, Paul Walker's shots were steady, eerie and spectacular.
Thanks, everybody. Firstly, I've got to thank my team, the 7 News team. I mean, they're always there and they've always been supporting us. And when we go out in the field, we always know that our pictures get back to our office and they do a great job in putting it together. And I'd like to thank them for doing that. They do a great job. But to be mentioned in the names of the pilots, Gary, Footy, they're all guys that I've known. And I spent the week actually in our helicopter this week. And a helicopter's a great news tool, and it's a great way of being able to show our product and and it's a way that being able to bring us and how we operate and how we get our news together. I'd like to thank my family, I'll be quick here, for letting me play on the road because I love doing it and I love being out there. I've got to thank Sean Berry, who actually was driving the car during the whole time and wasn't very happy about doing that on occasions because we were a bit out there for a while. And finally, I've got to thank our little big Chief of Staff, Megan Miller, who quite often sends me out, and she loves telling me to go and get lost, so I love doing that. So thank you so much. Cheers, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year, of course, we also lost one of the genuine greats in television reporting, the inimitable Peter Harvey. He was a colleague of mine and all the Channel 9 people over there for more than 20 years. And he was a true monument to our industry, and when he passed, it hit us all pretty hard. So we've put together a bit of a special tribute to Pete, so please have a watch of the screens and just take a moment to remember those people we've lost.
Good evening, I'm Peter Harvey.
There are Secret Service men listening. There are 12 more of these tombs.
There was a great deal of innuendo, there was a great deal of suggestion.
And so the night ends for Prime Minister Hawke.
The fact of the matter is that President Marcos controls all the aces.
If it's violence you want, violence it is. Tomorrow he comes here, Buckingham Palace.
There's a vibe about the business which I love, just love.
Peter started his reporting career back in 1964 as a cadet for the redoubtable Sir Frank Packer, Kerry's dad, at Sydney's Daily Telegraph.
If he had a bad weekend at the races, it was not uncommon for Sir Frank to arrive when the Sunday Telegraph was about to come out, inform everybody in the newsroom that we're all blood-sucking leeches and get out of his building.
In 1968, Harves landed a war correspondent's job in Saigon, working for the esteemed American magazine Newsweek.
It was the full-on kid correspondent arrival in Vietnam.
From then on, he reported on many conflicts.
We've been told to go and take cover, so that's exactly what we'll do. Continuing American military build-up. People were told to put on gas masks like this one.
A new battleground, Canberra. He relished all the drama and mischief of federal politics.
Walked straight into the dying months of the Whitlam government, and it was an amazing period to be there.
And in the middle of the news conference came this booming, authoritative voice from Peter Harvey saying, "Mr. Howard, why the crackdown?"
Just remind us how it went.
Peter Harvey, Canberra.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the Kennedy Award for Most Outstanding Television News Reporting, sponsored by Network 10, please welcome